Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to dive into something that doesn't sound super great at first, but it's probably one of the most powerful financial things you can do, and that's living frugally in your 20s, which I know it sounds absolutely awful, like you're not supposed to have fun, but just stick with me. This episode is all about how being smart with your money right now can set you up to be financially free and maybe even rich way earlier than most people. And I know you've probably seen other 20-year-olds driving nicer cars, wearing designer fits, living in high-rise apartments they can barely even afford, and it might make you feel like you're behind. But here's the twist. The people who look rich right now, a lot of them are just broke in style. Meanwhile, the quiet, frugal ones are actually the ones building wealth in silence. So let's talk about why that matters. First off, frugal doesn't mean cheap. It's not about cutting out everything fun in your life. It's about spending intentionally. It means knowing what you value and choosing to spend money on that while cutting out the fluff. So maybe you skip out eating 5 times a week, but you travel once a year and pay for it in full, or drive a reliable used car instead of leasing or financing something flashy. Frugal living is just a strategic way of living. It's deciding to build a solid financial foundation while your income is still growing. So let's get into the math part of things. Imagine if you're like 25 and you save and invest an extra $500 a month. If you get an average 7% annual return, which is a super conservative number for the stock market, you'll have around $615,000 by the time you're 45. And that's with just $500 on an underestimated annual return. And that's without even increasing your investment over time. That's not theory, that's compound interest. And the thing that about compounding is it rewards you for starting early. That's why your 20s are so crucial. Every dollar you save now has decades to grow. You're not just saving money, you're buying yourself time, freedom, and options. So what most people do wrong in their 20s is lifestyle inflation. You graduate, get a decent job, start making more money, but then the downside of that is you start spending more. You move into a nicer apartment, start shopping more, get a car loan you don't even need, and then suddenly your expenses match your income and you feel stuck and you're just broke. People think they'll save later when they're older and then they make more, but by then you've got a debt, a mortgage, probably kids, and saving becomes 100 times harder. Your 20s are the absolute best time to get ahead. So what does frugal living actually look like in your 20s? Here's some good examples. Cooking more at home instead of eating out constantly, which is super easy to do once you make it a habit. Just start saying no to every expensive night out and picking a few that really matter. That's what I do. I don't cut out going out completely, but I make it such a rare occurrence that it's even more special when I actually do it. And then focus more on buying used things or refurbished instead of brand new. Prioritizing needs over wants, like getting insurance, building an emergency fund, and investing regularly. With Robinhood, for example, you can just reoccur investments every time you get paid, which is the easiest way to start building wealth. Avoid lifestyle FOMO, fear of missing out. Stay focused on your goals. Who cares what anyone else thinks or what they're doing? You're building in silence, and it's super important that you keep doing that. It's not going to always be glamorous, but the deal is wealth isn't built with flashy moments. It's built with consistent, boring decisions over time. If you can master living below your means in your 20s, your 30s, and 40s are a completely different game. You could buy a home without drowning in debt, take time off work without panicking, say no to jobs or bosses that you absolutely hate, and retire way earlier than most people do. And then just simply the most important part, stress less about money. So realistically, the big takeaway of all this is you don't need to live like a monk and you don't need to deprive yourself of joy. But if you can be smart with your money in your 20s, start saving and investing aggressively, and just live a little bit below your means, you're going to be miles ahead of most people. What I did that most people probably could not do is, for the longest time, I worked at very shitty jobs and made like $400, $500 a week. And I did that for so long that I just got used to only having that much. So any money I make on a side hustle or at my main job now that's over that, I literally just automate it to get put away. Whether that's in an investment account, in savings, high yield savings, whatever it is, anything over that amount is going to be invested into something, which I can't expect anyone else to just replicate, because I know everyone's expenses are going to be different. Some people have rent that's $500 alone or $1,000, but the main thing is you need to just get used to living off the bare minimum and try to automate all this stuff the most you can. It makes it 100 times easier and you won't even have to think about it. So that's what I was saying with Robinhood, for an example. That's just what I use because the UI is super easy to use. Just automate everything. I literally have it to do $2 or $3 a day into a random stock, just because you can easily go and get an energy drink for $3 a day and not feel bad about it. So the daily expense of $3 into a stock that's actually going to grow over time and not just cost me money up front is 100 times more important. So yeah, you don't have to look rich now. You just have to play the long game. And when your 30s roll around, you'll be the one that has all the options and a crazy peace of mind in that super fat investment account that no one else is going to have, because everyone else chose to live lavish, or at least look lavish up front. So just focus on stacking as much cash as humanly possible. Don't let it all sit into just a basic savings account. At the very least, use a high yield saving account. One that I use that I'm not at all affiliated with, I just personally used it because it was the best one I could find, is called Wealthfront. It's an app that I have on the phone. I have that as my emergency expenses, so anytime I can take that out, it's always available. But at least that way it's earning interest while it sits in that account, rather than just losing value due to an inflation. But yeah, that'll about do it for today's episode. Let me know down below in the comments any sort of question you have on anything, whether it be fitness, lifestyle, or just building money in general. I would love to reply with a video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll let the gameplay roll out.